We're back at Red Wilson Field for the final regular season meeting between the YD Red Sox and the Harwich Mariners, East Division rivals, teams that have matched up well all year, but YD for the most part has had Harwich's number, coming off a 14-0 win on the road at Bourne yesterday, bouncing back from a shutout loss of their own a couple of days before. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke Poley back as always. And Luke, the story for YD has just been the streakiness. A couple of really, really good wins and then a couple of really, really bad losses. We haven't seen close competitive games going either direction from this team in a long time. So what do you think is the reason for that? And against a team like Harwich, where it's been relatively close throughout the season, how do you think YD can come into today and attack that?
I think we're just going to need to see, better carryover from YD throughout both sides of their lineup. When we've seen those lopsided wins and lopsided losses, it's been mostly due to the fact that either part of the batting lineup doesn't show up or that the pitching has a tough time. And so I think if you get consistent performances out of not only your starting pitcher, Smith Pinson, who's been rock solid for you this season, but once you start to get to the bullpen, can those guys hold it out for you the rest of the game? Can your batting lineup go 1 through 9 like they did yesterday and produce strong performances? I think if you can do that, you should have no issues with consistently winning. It's just been an issue of putting both of those things together for YD over this last week, where things have been very up and down for them, to say the least.
Absolutely. And yesterday, speaking of the batting lineup, we had some firsts. Well, for Theo Hardy, he had a 3-hit game, considering he came into yesterday with just 2 hits. That was a really big deal. He's back in the lineup today. Braden Montgomery, first home run of the season. It was a moonshot out to deep center field. Hunter Hines was robbed of a home run of his own. Manny Garza back in the lineup. Stafford leading off. We saw R.J. Austin move down in the lineup yesterday, and that actually worked out pretty well. And this lineup has shifted around. Darby is down towards the bottom, as is Ryan Jackson. I think Coach Pickler is really just trying to move his contact guys throughout the lineup to get rallies going from top to bottom.
Yeah, we're seeing more of that spread out in the lineup, like you said, with guys batting in new spots in the lineup over the past couple of days. But I really do like this lineup. Ryan Stafford, who stole a base yesterday, hitting in the leadoff spot, normally something you don't see out of a guy who's usually a catcher. Today he's in left, but he is normally a catcher, and he will hit leadoff. And I think this is a good lineup for Scott Pickler. You've got power in the middle part of it. You've got a lot of contact hitting throughout. I think it's very well balanced, and I'm very interested to see how they perform following that explosion of a performance yesterday from the bats.
As you said, Smith Pinson starting off on the bump against Kevin Keister out of Maryland. He's a new addition to the Harwich lineup. Have a couple of Maryland guys, Kevin Keister along with Elijah Lambros, joining the Mariners roster, facing YD for the first time as Pinson kicks and deals a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. That one beautifully floated up there and dropped in at the last second, taken for strike one. Keister was a 2022 All-Big Ten first-team selection, players at foul. And in 2023, he batted just over 300 at 303. 63 games played for the Terps. Keister's down 0-2. Pinson fires. Called strike 3, that upper left corner of the zone. And Keister watches it go by. 3 strikes, 1 out. Smith Pinson.
It's going to be a long day for Harwich if they're not ready to swing the bat on 2 strikes. With a guy like Smith Pinson on the bump, his location is so good. He's not afraid on 2 strikes to throw a pitch over the plate that can sit you down on the 3rd pitch. He's a guy with excellent location. It's a righty that doesn't throw super hard by standards compared to a lot of other guys in his height at 6'8", but really places it well.
Ali Camarillo does swing at the first one, hits it towards the gap in right center, and it drops. Montgomery has it. The throw to second is off target, and Camarillo slides in head first, pounding his chest like Donkey Kong. Really nice piece of hitting. Attacked that first pitch. The throw from Montgomery just came to the back half of the bag, and Theo Hardy had no chance at it.
Yeah, that was a risky play to go for second there from Camarillo, but it was a nice piece of hitting to go to the opposite field, like you said, just floated it out there. And in a ballpark this small, hitting a double that doesn't even get off the wall is a rarity, but It was a nice one there as Camarillo showed off the wheels.
No hesitation, rounding first. Pinson fires the first pitch to Lambros, and it just drops a little too far inside for ball one. Lambros turns his shoulders away from him. Another Maryland Terrapin. Plays in the outfield today. He's out in center. Pinson taking his time, now set. Pretty big lead from Camarillo. This infield is shifted towards the left. And a pitch clock violation. We said he was taking his time. It felt like he was up there for a long time, and that'll add a ball. So Lambros is ahead 2-0. YD has struggled with the pitch clock this season. The 2-0 flies just off the plate. 3 balls, no strikes. Lambros just finished his freshman year at Maryland, batted .288. 62 games played. The 3-0 comes in. Strike one at the bottom of the zone. The fastball comes in, green light not on. Lambros has only played 5 games so far. He is batting .350 with 7 hits in his first 20 at-bats. Pretty good start to the season. Pickoff move towards second, and he's caught in the middle in a rundown. Camarillo in no man's land, trips and falls, and the tag is put on by Xander Darby. What a move from Smith Pinson to get Camarillo. He was not paying attention and got caught sleeping on the base paths.
Yeah, Pinson had a really good move there. Got a little lucky that Camarillo slipped and fell when he was trying to get back to the base, but it probably would have been a close play anyway as he was way off the bag. Really nice move, and that makes things a little simpler for him.
This one's bumped foul and out of play as the count runs full, and all of a sudden Pinson could face the minimum in this first inning with Camarillo retired in the base paths. Harwich scoring threat eliminated. Pinson is squared to the plate. And the payoff. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Dropped in the tag applied by Manny Garza. Harwich goes 1-2-3 in the top of the first after some heroics by Smith Pinson. And we head to the home half. YD will step up to the plate for the first time today. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Bottom of the first, and Ryan Stafford is leading off for the Red Sox, facing Tom Shimoleski. Chmielewski was an all-star in his own right. Came in to pitch in one of the later innings in that game as Stafford holds off as ball one runs inside. Chmielewski has a 2.88 ERA through 5 starts this season, 25 innings pitched. And Stafford bloops it into right field. That's a base hit on the first at-bat of the day. Ryan Stafford leads off with a hit. And he's aboard for R.J. Austin. Just soft contact, popped it up over the head of the infield. And Obi had no play on it out there. Nice contact from Stafford. Restarts his hit streak back at 2 now, after it was broken during the Hartford game. But excluding that one, he's now had a hit in 7 of the last 8 games. Ball 1 falls inside to Austin. Chmielewski, the lefty, facing Austin, the righty, out of Vanderbilt, where he just finished his freshman year. And strike 1, the fastball on the outside half of the plate.
Despite the successes that YD has had with that 4-game win streak and his game we saw yesterday, they've only scored in the first inning in one of those games over the last week. In fact, the last time they scored more than 1 run in the first inning, I mean, it has been forever. That was way back against Brewster on July 1st.
A nice breaking pitch from Chmielewski, drops just below the knees, and Austin holds off as the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike.
So it's been 21 games since YD has scored more than 1 run in the first inning. Hard to believe considering the amount of success they've had.
Austin pushes it foul and way out of play. Stafford has a sizable lead on first, but we haven't seen a pickoff attempt over there yet as the count's at 2-2.
Stafford stole a base yesterday as well.
And Austin has been one of the best contact guys for YD all season. He's been really good at putting it on the ground in the infield and sneaking it through the holes. We've seen him be particularly dangerous straight up the lines. You can see Harwich is playing pretty closely, but that third base line, there's a little bit of room there with Keister moved over a couple of feet. Runner goes Stafford, caught in the middle, and he is tagged out at second. YD gets a taste of their own medicine on the nice pickoff move from Tom Chmielewski. And YD's base runner is retired. Strike 3 comes into R.J. Austin. He goes down. So all of a sudden it went from 1 runner on, nobody out, to nobody on and 2 gone in the first. Oh, how things change quickly. Now it's Braden Montgomery, one of the hottest bats in the YD lineup. Montgomery, the switch hitter out of Stanford, starting at the righty box as a first pitch ball flies high.
That breaking ball from Chmielewski, it's a very rare pitch to see in this league. It's a slur that he throws, and it is nasty. That was the strike 3 pitch just a moment ago to Austin.
Fastball on the outside half, can't be framed up by Andrew Yu, catcher out of Duke. And Montgomery's ahead 2-0. Chmielewski fires, pushed foul into Yu's helmet. Barely even flinched at it. That ball hit him pretty hard in the face mask, knocked the face mask off, but looks to be okay. Count moves to 2-1. Two-one on the way, flies outside and high for ball 3. Hunter Hines on deck if it gets there. Probably the 2 biggest power bats back-to-back in the lineup today in the 3-4 hole. Montgomery holds off, ball 4 just outside, and he walks for YD's second base runner of the day. He's aboard first for Hunter Hines.
Next up, out of Mississippi State, number 44, Hunter Hines.
Hines had a single yesterday. He was one of 8 YD Red Sox starters with a hit. First pitch ripped towards the gap in right center. That'll drop Montgomery rounding second, heading for third, and the cutoff comes in. Montgomery stands up at third, and Hines has a hit off the first pitch. Brings up Manny Garza with runners on the corners and 2 gone.
It's rare to see that kind of aggression from Hunter Hines. He's normally a very patient hitter, waits to see a few pitches, especially the first time through before going after one, but got a pitch he liked there and got a nice for a hit.
First pitch on the way to Garza, runs inside in the dirt, smothered by you. He'll reset the catcher out of Rice University, a late season addition, just around the All-Star break. The 1-0 flared just foul, and it hits off first base coach Cam Trudel. Ouch. Took that like a champ. That had to hurt.
He does have the shin pad on. I don't know if that's Montgomery's or Hines, but maybe that helped him. I don't know.
Again pushed foul by Garza as he falls behind 1-2.
Man, the team, though, in the dugout was...
They were loving that.
They were on their feet.
Cam had a smile on his face.
I mean, that's louder than you hear them get sometimes after home runs.
The 1-2, check swing. They say he went around. YD has had that call go against them. It feels like every single time as Garza is retired on strikes. Disappointing end to the first as YD got 3 on, retired with 2 on the corners, and we're scoreless heading to the top of the second at Red Wilson Field on the Cape League broadcast. Top of the second, the sun is shining at full brightness now. Smith Pinson's back on the bump for his second inning of work, facing off against Devin Obi. He went 1-2-3 in the top as Camarillo was retired in the base paths. And now Obi, the right fielder today, will lead off. He is 1 for 10 with 2 walks against YD all season, 13 plate appearances. He's also been hit by a pitch. just one strikeout against YD pitching. He's been really good at putting it in play. First pitch, ball drops low on the break. And Obi takes for ball one. Swing and a miss, strike one. Ahead of it that time as Pinson blew it by him on the knees. The kick and deal, check swing goes around, called strike two. The 1-2, tipped foul. And into the backstop, Pinson working noticeably faster in this inning than he did in the first, trying to likely avoid another pitch clock violation.
Probably feels like it's breathing down his neck after he got called for it once.
Obi soft contact towards second on the bounce. Jackson gets rid of it quickly over to Gleed for out number one. Nicely picked in the air, was a little off the plate, but Gleed made a nice adjustment. It was a slow roller, and the two of them are sharing a laugh about it.
Next up, out of Boston.
As the fourth in a row goes down, and it's Cameron Leary, another new guy. Leary plays at Boston College, has a few teammates in the league. Teammate of our bullpen catcher, Nolan Shermer. One and 0 to Leary, popped up into the shallow infield behind home plate in foul territory. Garza has the play on it. And that's out number two. Leary goes down in just two pitches. And that'll bring up Brian Arendt.
Next up, out of UNC Wilmington, number 11, Brian Arendt.
Arendt's a guy that's been here since day one. He's been in the lineup against YD all the time. 15 plate appearances against YD. 2 for 12, 2 runs scored, an RBI, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He takes ball 1 low and away. Shade moving over the field. Pinson fires, hit well out towards center field. Austin going back towards the fence. Now Campton grabs it near the edge of the ballpark, out number 3. 6 up, 6 down so far for the Harwich Mariners. And that'll bring us back to the home half. Bottom of the second coming up when we come back on the Cape League. Bottom of the second, Xander Darby, the first up for the Red Sox. Darby had a very nice day yesterday as part of the Red Sox 14-0 win. A pair of hits, along with some other productive stats on that batting sheet that contributed to the 14 runs. Ball one drops below the zone. The count's 1-1. We saw him over at first base for a little while yesterday before he moved back to third. Swings away at this one, grounded up the middle off the glove of Camarillo, and he slips and falls. Would have been a tough play to make anyways. It bounced off maybe either through Shimoleski's legs or just off his foot. Really just hard hit ball on the ground, straight up the diamond. Second leadoff hit in a row for the Red Sox. They have 3 hits already.
Shattered his bat. And good to see now Dove Gleed back in the lineup.
First pitch on the way to him flies at the top of the zone. Just catches the corner for strike one. Gleed has been absent from the lineup for a couple of days due to injury and is now back as he swings away for strike two. Gleed out of UC Irvine was a second-team All-Big West selection out there for the Anteaters and has played first base all season despite being time called, not sure what that meant. There was some communication, like an ICU gesture. I don't really know. Regardless, ball one comes in on the outside half and Gleed takes. Not a huge lead from Darby. He has not been the most successful base stealer, but not necessarily his fault. There he goes again. Pitch drops in the dirt, and there he goes. As he gets the lucky break, you lost the ball for a second, and Darby is safe aboard. That should help his numbers out.
And it'll pad the stats a little bit. Got a nice healthy jump there, especially against a lefty. That was pretty solid.
This one chopped up towards second. Picked up by Rivera, and the toss to first is in time, but Darby now around third. A hit that could have ended up in a double play. Instead advances the runner to third thanks to that stolen base. And Darby is threatening as Ryan Jackson steps up to the plate.
Yeah, you're totally okay with that if you're Dove Gleed. They practice in batting practice moving up runners like that with nobody out and a runner on second. The goal is to try and get the runner over, even if you ground out. That's a productive at-bat from Dove Gleed.
Jackson holds off as ball one drops low. Ryan Jackson out of the University of Southern California in those red and gold cleats has a maroon and black bat. Shimoleski fires on the ground towards second, and the backhand attempt by Rivera is fruitless as it sneaks under his glove. Ryan Jackson has a hit, and Darby comes in to score. The Red Sox strike first, and they lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the second.
Number 11, Theo Hardy.
Theo Hardy, the breakout star of yesterday, had a 3-hit day. He's been making hard contact since the beginning and has just been unlucky, and he's been robbed of a couple of hits by some nice plays in the infield. But yesterday, things were going his way as he takes strike one. Hardy out of San Jose State has stepped into that regular shortstop position after the absence of Max Vieira, who departed. The team swings away as one comes inside on him. He chops it off his foot, down 0-2. 4 hits for the Red Sox through these first 2 and a third, or 1 and a third.
Hardy brought his batting average up almost 100 points yesterday. That performance alone.
Pick off towards first. Not much of a lead from Jackson, but he steps back there. That's what happens when you have a small sample size. One day can really change things up. Xander Darby batting average above 300.
Yep.
First time all season he's been all the way up there, and he has worked really, really hard at it.
He was a guy that you look at the way he's hitting the ball now versus when he got here, and it's just entirely different.
The 0-2 swung on and missed on the nasty breaking ball. That's that slurve you were talking about, Luke, and it gets Theo Hardy swinging to turn the lineup over. Flips it for the first time, and Stafford is back for his second time around. He started the game off with a single against Shimoleski. Trying to get something going on 2 outs here. First pitch on the way, goes after it and lines it backwards into the fence. Jackson takes his lead. The lefty Shimoleski staring him down. The 0-1 comes in nicely on the outside half of the plate. Strike 2. Shimoleski has now been ahead 0-2 in the last 3 counts in a row. Pitch on the way, push foul at the last minute as Stafford saw it on the break heading toward that zone on the outside corner. A really nice pitch from Shimoleski and a nice job from Stafford to battle it away. The kick and deal. Swung on and missed, foul tipped into Yu's glove, and that's the side. YD strikes for 1, they lead 1-0. Heading to the top of the third, you're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Top of the third, and Talmadge LeCroy leads off out of South Carolina, the other USC. First pitch on the way from Pinson. Just too far inside on the fastball, 4-1. Another guy that is facing YD for the first time. It's the 1-0. Flies in the same spot, just missing. 4-2. It's his 4th game as a Harwich Mariner. And strike 1 paints the outside corner, flies across the plate. Pinson fires. Garza tried to frame it at the top of the zone, but it misses just high. 3 balls and a strike, nobody out. For LeCroy, he's leading things off in the 7 slot. LeCroy bumps it foul and the count runs full. LeCroy had a nice time of things in the postseason for South Carolina. Was a member of the Columbia Regional team. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Smith Pinson, 3 strikeouts through 2 and a third. He is dealing so far against the Mariners, who put up 21 runs of their own yesterday. You think, oh, a 14-0 blowout, that's got to be the biggest win of the day, right? Well, yesterday across the league, there was a 27-2 win by Falmouth over Kitei, and a 21-5 win by Harwich over Brewster. Crazy day in the Cape Cod Baseball League. 95 total runs scored in one day. The 0-1 on the way to you. A late swing and a missed strike, 2.
I mean, you just think about that. You're looking at an average-ish scoreline last night being, 10-8. About 18 runs between every game.
The 0-2 flared towards the first baseline, and Gleed has it in the air for out number 2. On a line, goes opposite field on the late swing. Nice contact, but Gleed was there to collect, and that's 2 retired. Finally to the bottom of the lineup with Daniel Rivera. Rivera at second base today is 0 for 3 with 5 walks against YD. So, not to say he has not been productive. However, he has not come around to score many of those walks. This one goes straight up the middle. Jackson comes over on it, the throw in time. And Smith Pinson has gone through the lineup in order to start things off through 3 innings, heading to the bottom half when we're back on the Cape League broadcast.
Out of Vanderbilt, number 9.
Second time through the lineup for YD, and RJ Austin in the 2-hole will lead off for the Red Sox. In the bottom of the 3rd, they lead 1-0. First pitch is fouled away from Shimoleski. First time YD has seen Andrew Yu behind the plate. He's been in the lineup the times these two teams have played, but usually it's been Brian Arendt back there. Today he's in the DH spot. This ball 1 flies away, and Yu is back there for the first time. The 1-1 grounded just foul up the 3rd baseline, 2 strikes. Out of Duke, going into his sophomore year. Native of Nashville, Tennessee. The 1-2 hit last minute up towards short, couple of bounces. The throw from Camarillo, a laser across the diamond. Gets him just in time. And it's the 6-3 put out for out number 1.
Man, check the infield velo on that. My goodness.
15,
Didn't think there was a need for him to throw it that hard, and then when the ball arrived at first, RJ Austin was only a half step short, so that was certainly warranted, but that was a hard throw from Camarillo at short.
First pitch to Montgomery, huge swing and miss on the breaking ball, running inside on the hands. 4 strike 1. Molesky moving quickly. He fires and it flies away. A ball and a strike to the pinch hitter, two-way player out of Stanford University, but currently in the transfer portal. Late swing for strike two. Montgomery is one of the top MLB prospects for the 2024 draft. He's a power hitter from both sides of the plate. We saw him hit a home run yesterday, a 3-run shot, and then come in and pitch a scoreless inning. Here he goes down on strikes. But his raw baseball talent is really something special to witness, as is that of Hunter Hines and the power and pop he has in his bat. He's 1 for 1 today with a single, a line drive all the way out to the fence in right center field. First pitch on the way, ripped out towards right field, heading back to the fence, and it's a no-doubt bomb from Hunter Hines, his 11th of the season. League-leading 38th run batted in. And he will take a victory lap to put the Red Sox ahead 2-0 in the bottom of the third.
Hunter said before the game he's just going to stop caring. He's just going to play loose. He's going to play fun. I think it was more of a joke than anything else, but he has been strong at the plate now, 2 for 2. And, man, can he hit the ball hard or what?
Nice start to the day. Garza has nice contact, but picked up on the one bounce from Shimoleski, and that's out number 3. As Garza's retired on one pitch, but YD gets another off the solo shot from Hunter, a.k.a. Hunter Homer Hines. And we head to the top half of the fourth when we're back on the Cape League broadcast.
Top of the fourth inning here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei as the Red Sox have opened up a 2-0 lead over the Harwich Mariners. At the top of the order, Kevin Keister takes the ball high. Smith Pinson went through the order one time in 3 innings, got through it in 9 batters, gave up 1 hit. That was Ali Camarillo who doubled off of him, but he picked him off. It's part of a 3-batter first inning. Since then, he's retired 7 straight. The count 1-1 to Keister. Jams it foul back 1-2. Keister, a .470 hitter through his early time here on the Cape, just 17 at bats, but it has been a strong start for the Maryland Terp. Slow tapper left side. That's a foul ball, and it'll stay 1-2. Keister, one of the Dirty Terps, as they are referred to. They'll have a new head coach next season. Ball squirts away, and it's 2-2.
We know all about the Dirty Terps,
Yes,
as
we do.
one of our writers, Ben Strober, goes to the University of Maryland College Park, and he is an avid Terps fan.
And one could say the voice of Maryland baseball on Maryland Baseball Network as the pitch misses outside for ball 3, the flagship radio broadcast of Maryland baseball. Been heavily involved with that. They've got Cape League ties as well. The founder of it, Jake Eisenberg, a former Cape League broadcaster with the Chatham Anglers, currently the radio guy for the Kansas City Royals. 3-2 is just off the plate, ball 4. And Keister works his way back after the strikeout. He was down in the count in this one and instead finds the walk to get aboard in the 4th inning. The first free pass and just the second base runner Smith Pinson has allowed.
It's a close one, and it's a tough take from Keister, but nice work with the discerning eye at the plate. It's one that you'll take from Smith Pinson. It's not a bad pitch at all, just didn't get the call to go his way. Someone should go check on their car over in the parking lot as the alarm is going off and has been for quite some time now.
Ball down low. It looked like that brief delay we had prior to this at-bat was because of the car alarm and they were waiting for it to stop, but it was just so that Camarillo could get ready. Hit a ball to the opposite field his last time up that got in the gap for a double. Before he was picked off, he hits it the opposite way again. This time it's playable for Montgomery, who had to lean forward a bit, but does make the catch. Keister headed back to first, and one away now for Elijah Lambros.
Next up, out of Maryland, number 25, Elijah Lambros.
Cheers from the crowd as the car alarm ceases. Man on first with one away. Pinson will pick over. Only his second time out of the stretch. Deals the first pitch strike. The first time he came out of the stretch, it wasn't even for a full batter. It was partway through the at-bat, and it was actually Lambros at the plate. He picked off Camarillo. That was over on second base, where his pickoff move is, let's say, a little more deadly than the one at first.
The one at second, he's a righty, and he'll do this full counterclockwise spin and throw behind the runner. That's what caught Camarillo in the middle.
Of course, it's rare to see a pickoff at second base, even more rare than one you'd see at first, but it was a really nice throw from Pinson. Runner goes, pitch is swung on, grounded left side. That's a fair ball all the way into the corner. Heading to it, Ryan Stafford will pick it up as the runner tries to score, and the throw is cut off by Darby as Lambros scoots into second. It's an RBI double. And Harwich cuts into the lead in the top of the 4th inning. Now a 2-1 ball game.
Hit and run executed perfectly, and that one was a beaut. Sneaking up the third base line, stays in play, and Keister got a nice jump from first, made his way all the way around to home, and there wasn't even a play possible at the plate. That ball kept traveling all the way into the Whitey bullpen.
Tying run in scoring position for Devin Obie. There's a strike from Smith Pinson. Pinson, a very interesting type of pitcher. 6-pitch mix. He will not throw them all during one at bat. Swing and a miss on the 0-1 offering. No balls and 2 strikes. Part of the reason that we talk about so often Pinson not throwing super hard but being so successful as the 0-2 comes in outside is that level of deception in that he has so many pitches that he can throw at you, and you're going to have to go pretty deep into a game before you really have seen everything he has to offer. One-two on the ground to third. A foul ball as Darby made his way to it. Count will remain the same. 2-1 our score between YD and Harwich. These two teams, if you remember back to just over a week ago, it's about a month long where these two teams were at the top of the East Division. Harwich held the lead for a little bit, but it was mostly YD that was at the tops in the East. Harwich has since fallen into third place as they've been surpassed by Orleans. 1-2, and it got him on the finger. Obi favoring that right hand, shook it out, and now is keeled over on the first base side. That's a really tough place to wear one.
Some sensitive bones over there in the fingers, especially coming in at the knob of the bat. Smashing your fingers between the ball and the wood is not a pleasant sensation.
So he will be tended to by the Harwich trainer and is going to stay in the game. And no sliding mid either. So he will stand over on first, a good sign that Obi can remain in this one. First time we've seen Smith Pinson in a bit of a jam, first and second with one out. Cameron Leary at the plate. And he takes a strike. Leary, a former Brewster Whitecap, played 10 games for the Caps last summer, East Division champions. Came into this game 1 for his first 4 for Harwich this season. BC Eagle takes up high. One. Drops low. 2 balls and a strike. Leary, the left-handed rising senior from New York. And Pinson's called for a balk. He wasn't set yet. Having a conversation with Silvio Martinez over at third base. But that makes things a little more difficult for him here as it eliminates the force and moves the go-ahead run into scoring position. They're on second and third now, and a favorable 2-1 count to Leary. Grounded to first, this will score a run. Gleed will take it himself to the bag and step on it for the second out. Obi moves to third as Lambros scores, and we are tied in the top of the fourth. It's 2-2.
You saw Gleed look towards home for a second and think about it. He saw that Lambros was going on contact. I really think he could have had a play at it, but at this point in the game, it's so early in the fourth inning. YD is okay with letting it get tied up. Now there's 2 outs. But I would have been interested to see what happened if Gleed decided to go home on that.
Runner on third for Brian Arndt. First pitch is in there for strike one. Feel like if it, in the eyes of the coaching staff, had been absolutely essential to save that run, they would have brought the infield in, and they left them in their normal spots. So YD was content to just wear that one and let this game tie up and take the out. Swing and a miss on the 0-1. This one trickles away, but Garza gets to it quickly, and that will hold the runner on third base. Count is 0-2. Is now some room to maybe work around the zone here for Pinson against Brian Arndt, who flew out to center his first time up.
Aren't out of UNC Wilmington. He's a North Carolina native. Second season playing for Harwich.
Lifts this one right side and foul. 275 hitter this season for Harwich. He's been here the whole way. 2 home runs and 11 driven in. He's got the go-ahead run on third, but down in the count 0-2 with 2 away. In the top of the 4th inning, YD struck for 1 in the 2nd and 3rd. Harwich got them both back here in this frame. Swing and a miss on the 0-2. It will require a throw to first by Garza. It's low, but it's dug out by Dub Gleed. Runner was coming home there. And so if that skittered away, it would have scored a run, but a nice pick from the YD first baseman. And that retires the top of the 4th. Tie game here from Red Wilson Field. It's 2-2. Back in a moment on the Cape.
Number 12, Sander Darby.
Newly tied game and a new arm on the mound for Harwich in a 2-2 ball game in the bottom of the 4th inning. Drew Byers takes over, the journeyman righty who played this past season at Georgia Tech. Right on left is Xander Darby. He takes the first pitch, ball outside. Final line on Tom Shimoleski, the Princeton Tiger. 3 innings pitch, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Byers fires in a strike on the outer corner, and it's 1-1. This is his debut in the Cape Cod League this season. This past year was his 3rd year of college baseball with his 3rd different Division I school. Misses outside, 2-1. Started in the ACC with Notre Dame. Transferred to Samford for the 2022 season, and then transferred back to the ACC for 2023 with Georgia Tech. Pitch misses outside for ball 3, and it is 3-1.
A couple of very strong academic schools in that mix. These transfer portal rules have changed so much about the game.
That will not be allowed anymore, the 3 schools in 3 years, unless you have some circumstances that will make it necessary. But yeah, we have seen some pretty ridiculous things this season. This one lined right side, base hit. Rivera might have had a play on it, but it just got away from the Harwich second baseman. And Xander Darby aboard with his second hit of the game. Dub Gleed now at the plate. Runner on first and nobody out. Last summer, Drew Byers pitched for Winter Park in the Florida Collegiate Summer League. Had a 3-1 record across 9 appearances. This pitch misses outside for ball 1. He only appeared 3 times for Georgia Tech this spring and struggled with his command. Walked 9 hitters over 2 1/3 innings and hit 3 of them, struck out 2. One-0 is down low. 2 balls and no strikes.
That is a crazy number of walks for 2 1/3 innings. I'd love to know what the scenarios in that game were when he was put into pitch that after walking that many guys, he'd still leave them in.
Be interesting. He was limited in his appearances throughout the year to just 3. Cracked on the left side and foul by Gleed. He broke his bat, it sounded like, and he will have to go get some new lumber from the dugout. Byers pitched in 3 games for Georgia Tech. He went 1 inning against Long Island and gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, and 4 earned runs in a 23-11 win for Georgia Tech. And then he walked 3 and struck out 1, but threw a hitless, scoreless inning against his former school, Notre Dame, in a 17-4 loss during ACC play. And then gave up 6 earned over 1/3 of an inning in his final appearance against Boston College of the year. 3 balls and a strike to count to Dub Gleed. Yeah, and they were scattered throughout the year as well. 1 appearance in February, 1 in March, and 1 in April. So they were spread out a little bit. Three balls and a strike to pitch. Lifted in the air right side and out of play, foul. Three balls and 2 strikes with nobody out. Pitch is fouled back. And the count is full. Played for head coach Danny Hall at Georgia Tech. Legendary head coach. 3-2. Check swing. Did he go? He didn't. Gleed's already unstrapping the pads. That's ball 4.
Feels like the first time we've seen on an appeal on a full count like that YD has actually been called safe. It's been a tough go with things with those third base, first base appeals, but YD now, 2 aboard, nobody out.
Coach out of the dugout here for Harwich. In a 2-2 game, Ryan Jackson looking to put YD back in front.
There's nobody up and warming in the Harwich bullpen yet, so the ball will be Byers for at least a little bit longer.
Just wanting to talk things over in his debut as he looks to find the strike zone against Jackson. First and second for the USC Trojan. Squares the bunt, the pitch gets away. And YD gets the bunt for free. Runners move up to second and third. And now Jackson has his job done for him and will likely be seen swinging away here in a 1-0 count.
It's the equivalent of the balk for Harwich in the last inning.
1-0 rides in, 2-0. Corner infield is in for Harwich. There's a nice front door breaking ball for strike one, a sweeper that catches the zone. Jackson has an RBI in this game. It was his 7th of the year. He's 1 for 1. Grounds this one over to short. He's going to get another RBI out of this. A nice throw, though, over to first by Camarillo, who has been a wall at short today to get Jackson for the out, but it's an RBI ground out for him, and he's now got 2 driven in on the day.
Gleed was held up at second. Nice decision from him. The ball was right in his path. Would have been tough to get around. It's Theo Hardy now in the 9th spot with 1 gone and Gleed in scoring position.
Hardy, the switch hitter, batting left. First time we will see him batting from the left side. Looking to stay hot after yesterday. Struck out swinging from the right side his first time up.
I forgot that Theo Hardy was a switch hitter. I haven't seen him do that yet.
Pitch rides up and in for ball 1. Some of these guys fly under the radar as being switch hitters. You remember 3 straight YD pickups. They're 3 switch hitters. Wrapped over to second. Off the chest of Rivera, he recovers and throws out Hardy at first as Gleed moves from second to third. 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. And Ryan Stafford, who's 1 for 2, trying to get the 2-out hit to bring in the run. Stafford at the top of the YD order. Takes the ball outside. Mentioned Stafford stole a base yesterday. He was absolutely thrilled that Scott Pickler and the coaching staff allowed him to get running on the base pads and swipe a bag. They don't let him do that at school. 1-0 pitch is outside for ball 2. That's a couple of guys now. He, along with Paxton Kling, who we're both told by each of those guys that they don't really steal at school, but in the Scott Pickler system, everybody runs. And he wears that one. It hits him on the numbers. And that'll put runners on the corners. See if maybe at some point in this at-bat they get him in motion again. With 2 outs, R.J. Austin now at the plate. They're on the corners.
I really wouldn't be surprised to see that call, actually, because we've seen Coach Pickler send the guy on first with runners on the corners and 2 outs, trying to get that throw. Maybe it's wild. The runner comes in from third.
There he goes. And there will be no throw as you had to make a nice play to prevent it from going to the backstop. But Stafford moves into scoring position, and now a base hit could drive in 2 for R.J. Austin.
Austin 0 for 2 with a strikeout swinging and a ground out.
Good amount of room on the pull side. He hammers this one foul. He was out in front of it, but bat on ball, and 100% of the barrel caught it for RJ. Ball and a strike, Braden Montgomery on deck. 2 gone, second and third. Austin hits this one on the ground, and it's a tough play, and it skips away from Rivera. 1 run is in, throw comes home. That'll score a second run as Austin pulls into second base. It's a 2 RBI single for R.J. Austin. Hitting streak going for him again now. And YD opens up their biggest lead of the day at 5-2.
A classic RJ Austin hit on the ground through a hole, and Daniel Rivera had the diving effort but couldn't get there. Austin hits it so hard on the ground that even a routine play can turn difficult on something that looks like you might be able to get there. It makes the reaction time so much faster. He's come up so big in so many clutch moments, including today putting YD ahead 5-2. YD was content to let Harwich tie it, and this is why.
13 RBIs for him on the year as Braden Montgomery leads away from that one. Montgomery, another switch hitter, batting left against the right-hander in Drew Byers, who has thrown 25 pitches. Swing and a miss, strike two. Check that. That was 25 going into the at-bat. He's now up to 28. Still trying to get out of his first inning of work. Montgomery batting from his unnatural left side. Runner goes. And this one hit on the ground over towards short. Camarillo bobbles it and can't get it. Austin's going to come home to score. And Camarillo, who has been so good at short today, finally makes a mistake on a little worm burner off the end of the bat from Braden Montgomery. The E6 brings in another two-out run for YD, and it's now 6-2 Red Sox with the home run hitter and 2-for-2 batter Hunter Hines coming to the plate.
Shocking to see that from Camarillo after the day he's had so far. And the day he's just been so good in the infield all year for Harwich. The ball came up on him, bounced in front. I thought he actually still had a play on it and would all likelihood still get Montgomery out at first. But he just, on the bare hand, missed it.
Yeah, if he, after that bobble, came up with it when it looked like he was going to, I think he would have had Montgomery, but just lost it. Runner goes. This one grounded over towards second. This time Rivera has it in the breadbasket and throws out Hines at first. He's retired for the first time, but the damage is done for YD in the fourth. YD strikes back after Harwich ties it at 6-2 Red Sox following the 4 spot as we head to the fifth. YD in front. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Largest lead of the game for the Red Sox into the top of the fifth inning. It's 6-2 YD as Smith Pinson is back to it. Broken bat chopper over to short is held by Hardy. The throw a little high towards first, but Gleed handles it with no problem as Talmadge Lecroy is thrown out for the first out of the inning. Request Poley with Perri Kitei alongside as always. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Saturday evening from Red Wilson Field. Final weekend game of the regular season here at Red Wilson. YD's got 2 more home games in the regular year. Pinson deals a first pitch strike on Andrew Yu. As we take a look at the schedule for the rest of the season, YD looking over today and tomorrow to potentially wrap up the division. Strike called in the outer half, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. In all likelihood, the Red Sox will not be able to win the regular season championship in the Cape League, as they would have to win out and Kitei would have to lose out. 4 games left on the schedule, but at the very least, YD could have a pretty clear path to topping the East Division if they take care of business over the next couple of days. 1-2 the count to you. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Breaking ball down low.
Pinson hammering the zone that time on you. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. You goes down. Second time you've seen that today from Smith. As you said, Luke, his command is excellent today. He is only up to 54 pitches. Drew Byers through 30 in his first inning of work. Smith Pinson is in the top of the 5th inning, and he only has 54.
We saw similar efficiency yesterday from Finnegan Wall, who went 6 in both of those 4:30 starts before the Red Sox take their final trip to Spillane Field of the season to take on the Wareham Gatemen, as it's a 3-0 count to Daniel Rivera with the bases empty and 2 away. After that, they'll have an off day on Thursday, and then the playoffs begin as the Red Sox hold advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Pitch is in there for a strike. A division title would mean that the Red Sox would go through the first 2 rounds at least with home field advantage. Series in the Cape League playoffs. Popped up sky high, foul territory. Darby calls off Garza, loses the hat but makes the catch. And that retires the side. Halfway done here from Red Wilson Field, and the Red Sox are in the driver's seat. 6-2 YD. Back in a moment from South Yarmouth. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League. Manny Garza leads off in the bottom of the 5th inning for YD. 6-2 is our score, with the Red Sox leading the Harwich Mariners in the final meeting between these 2 squads in the regular season. First pitch misses up high from the new arm on the mound, Griffin Kern. 6'3", 225-pound lefty out of Quincy University in Illinois. Pitch misses down low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Kern, an Illinois native. This is his first year playing summer ball. 7-2 record for the Division II Quincy Hawks during the spring, over 15 starts. Struck out 96 hitters in 70 innings. Behind in the count, 3-0 on Garza. There's a strike right over the plate. 3-1 now the count to another switch hitter, another lefty on the mound. Second of 3 for Harwich, so Garza batting right-handed once again. He did not face the lone righty and Drew Byers, and he takes ball 4 against the left-hander Griffin Kern, who begins his outing with a walk.
Next up, out of UC Santa Barbara, number 12.
Xander Darby is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles and 2 runs scored. As YD looks to add to their lead in the bottom of the 5th. Darby fouls the first pitch back. Nothing in 1. The count to Xander. Just misses off the inner half of the plate, 1-1. So as the games begin to wind down here from Red Wilson Field, there is something that we have addressed a little bit but failed to partake in ourselves this year as Darby rips one foul, and it's a 1-2 count. And so we here at the YD Red Sox have decided that the home finale against the Orleans Firebirds will be a good time on the air to try the donut burger next week. So we'll be doing that. That will be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. I don't know if Perry's very excited.
Oh, I am pumped.
1-2 swung on and missed by Darby, strike 3. He is retired for the first time. A man on first and 1 away now for Dove Gleed. I am going to... I apologize for my lack of knowledge about my own team, but I'm going to try the Boston Cream one. I don't remember the actual name. Is that the Hurler or the Screamer or the Screamer maybe? I don't know. The one with the Boston Cream is the one that I want to try. Perry has...
I want the Glaze.
Yeah,
the
differing
classic.
thoughts. Gleed hammers this one out towards center field, but the ground will be covered as Lambros ranges over to make the catch for the out. Gleed robbed of a hit there, got a nice piece of that baseball, and there are 2 away. So stay tuned for that. That should be a ton of fun coming up next week in the famed Donut Burger. When I was first hired by YD, I went to the Wikipedia page, and the Wikipedia page mentioned donut burgers. And little did I know that they were gone for a couple of years, but they were back for this season. Ryan Jackson takes a strike on the outer half of the zone.
It was meant to be, Luke, just for you.
Just for me. Slow chopper towards third, tough play. Kern has it, throws to first, and that's a nice play for the out. And that retires the 5th. Stay tuned as we head to the 6th. We'll be having a special guest join us for the next inning. That should be a lot of fun as well. YD is leading this one 6-2. Back in a moment from Red Wilson Field on the Cape League. Top of the 6th inning here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley and Perri Kitei with you here from South Yarmouth. And the new arm taking the ball for YD is Will Armbruster out of Arizona State, making his second appearance of the season for the Red Sox. Pitched in Hartford a few days ago, and he will return to the mound with his team holding a somewhat comfortable lead at 6-2. Top of the order is at the plate. Kevin Keister for Harwich is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. He takes the ball down low. In the bottom half of this inning, in the 6th, we will be joined in the booth by Wynn Scott, pitcher for YD. Excited for that as Keister goes around on strike 1.
Armbruster has come in once for the Red Sox in Hartford a couple of days ago. That was his debut. Did a nice job. 2 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs.
Native of Washington. Do my best to pronounce Sammamish. I don't know if I said that correctly. It's the 2-1. Grounded over towards third. Scooped up by Xander Darby. He pumps a couple times before throwing it over to first for out number 1 in the inning. Harwich is just 3 over the minimum at this point. And with 1 gone in the 6th, Ali Camarillo comes up with the bases clear.
Camarillo with a double and a fly out today. Started off the hits for Harwich. They only have 2. And it was a nicely put double out towards the right center gap. Picked off in the base paths by Smith Pinson when he faced the minimum in the 1st.
Camarillo swings at the first pitch, and he's over the top of it for strike 1. Camarillo is 1 for 2 with a double, one of 2 hits by Harwich in this game. 0-1 the count. Garza can't quite frame that one on the outer half of the zone. It's a ball and a strike. Another strong outing for Smith Pinson. 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts for the big righty out of Kennesaw State. Two balls and a strike now to Camarillo. Both hits have been of the extra base variety for Harwich. 2 doubles from Camarillo and Lambros, the 2-3 hitters in the order. YD outfield playing pretty deep here. And this one lined up the middle base hit. So there's the first single of the game coming off the bat of Ali Camarillo, who's now 2 for 3.
Those are Camarillo's first 2 hits against the Red Sox all season. He's seen YD for 11 plate appearances now. That was his 12th, and those were his first 2 hits. Before that, hitless and walkless. I think he'd only reached base once on hit by pitch.
So now Elijah Lambros will be the batter. He's 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. Nice slider for strike 1 from Armbruster.
Lambros brought around his college teammate to score a run. Kevin Keister came around to score on the RBI single. The double up the third baseline, actually.
Lead will jog over to that spiked pickoff move. So Lambros has played a part in both Harwich runs that each came across in the 4th inning. YD went up 2-0. It was tied at 2 after 3.5, and then the Red Sox did their most damage in the bottom of the 4th inning when they scored 4 runs. Strike at the top part of the zone there from Armbruster. It's 0-2.
This is Armbruster's first time making his way over to the Cape Cod League. He has been a regular at the West Coast League, played there in 2019, 2021, and 2023 earlier this summer.
Ball and 2 strikes. Played for the Bellingham Bells in the West Coast League. Spent his first 3 college seasons with the Lobos at New Mexico before transferring to Arizona State. One, 2 is spiked. Runner goes, and they got him in a rundown. Garza down to Jackson. He'll jog it back to the bag, and now Gleed applies the tag, and that's the second out of the inning. Camarillo was looking for something in the dirt there and got it, but an ill-advised attempt to take second base, and he's thrown out for the second out of the inning, and Armbruster is just one strike away from facing the minimum in the sixth.
Second Mariner picked off in the base paths today by YD. Been really aware, and Harwich has not been so careful. It's really gone against them today.
2-2, swing and a miss, strike three, and that retires the side. So Will Armbruster comes in relief and faces the minimum, striking out one. Red Sox still lead by 4. It's 6-2, headed to the bottom of the sixth. We'll be joined by Win Scott when we come back. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League. Bottom of the sixth inning here from Red Wilson Field. 6-2 our score as Theo Hardy leads off for YD. The Red Sox in control of this one as they have been for the past few innings. Luke West Poley, Perri Kitei, and pleased to be joined by Win Scott, pitcher for YD, who came into the game yesterday making his debut. Pitched a scoreless inning in relief of Finnegan Wall as part of the complete game shutout by YD pitching. Win, thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here, guys. Thank you.
Ball and a strike that counts to Theo Hardy to begin this at bat. We have to start with the elephant in the room that I'm sure is asked to you all the time. Win, where did it come from? How did it originate?
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool story. I'm named for Dave Winfield from the Yankees, the Hall of Famer. So my dad's name's also Mark, middle name's Winfield, and they took the win and ran with it. So
I got to say, that is not at all what I expected to be the origin story of that nickname, but that's a good one. Hardy cracks this one over to short, backhand field by Camarillo. Long throw onto first is wide, and he's safe at first as Hardy legs that one out. Lee Croy did a decent job putting on the tag. He's throwing his hands up saying, hey, I got him, but first base umpire Vince Mariani disagrees, and so that's going to be a base hit, I believe, for Theo Hardy, his first of the game, and now a streak going for Theo. That's his first game of the season, or first stretch, I should say, of the season with back-to-back hits, as that will turn the lineup over. Umpires are going to meet here.
That was a tough play. It really looked like Lee Croy had a chance at the tag. Hardy might have gotten out of the way. There's nobody on the field who had a better view at it than the first plate umpire, so it's his call to make, and in a league with no video review, I can't imagine this is going to be overturned.
Called him out.
But it is.
Goodness.
I stand corrected.
Off initial look, it looked like Lee Croy might have had the tag, and that's a nice play by the first baseman. So Hardy will be put out 6-3, and that'll turn the lineup over with one out for Ryan Stafford.
Pick is not happy about that one. He rarely comes out of the dugout. One of the calmer coaches in this league, I think. But
yeah, we've really only seen him be like this maybe once or twice this season, but Pick will make his way back to the third base coach's box, one away for Ryan Stafford. Well, after all of that, the bases are empty. In case you are just joining us, we are joined in this inning by Win Scott, Pitcher for YD, who made his debut for the Red Sox yesterday. Stafford hits this one in the air out towards center field. It will be playable for Lambros, who puts it away. One pitch, and that's the second out of the inning. So, Win, what were your first impressions here at the Cape Cod League? I know you've been in some other places before in the Coastal Plain League and such, but impressions of playing here on Cape, your first game yesterday.
Yeah, a ton of fun. Obviously, a really good competition. I was explaining to my dad last night, everything's just a little bit better. The guys are a little quicker, a little stronger, a little bit smaller of a zone. So it's been awesome having that challenge.
So you played with two different teams in the Coastal Plain League. You played with the Ashboro Zookeepers, who might have one of the best names in summer ball this season. As Austin fouls that one off, it's 1-1. What has it been like? I know your dad went to UNC. You go to NC State. What is that dynamic like?
It was definitely interesting. Had to do some convincing to get him on our side, but he says that he is only an NC State baseball fan.
Only baseball.
Carolina, everything else. So
Carolina Blue.
I'll take that compromise, I guess.
Does he wear NC State merchandise?
The top layer is NC State merchandise, and the layer underneath is Carolina merchandise.
It's the UNC under the NC State jacket. That's
Fair
an
enough.
interesting one.
You can only go so far in that situation.
3-1 chopper to short. Camarillo waits on it, has it in the glove, and sidearms on to first to beat out Austin for the third out of the inning. Our time together rather limited, Win. 1-2-3, a quick inning in the bottom of the sixth as we head on to the seventh. Thanks so much for joining us in the 6-2 game led by the Red Sox. It's been a fun one having you here, even if it was rather brief.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Headed to the seventh here from Red Wilson Field, 6-2 YD. Back in a
Back for the top of seventh at Red Wilson Field. This one going by quickly. Just an hour and 35 minutes of game time here as Devin Obie out of Duke steps back up to the plate, and Win Scott has stayed on with us to keep us company as Armbruster deals the first pitch, and it's swung on and missed by Obie, who is 0 for 1 today and has reached on a hit by pitch. Speaking of, I've always wondered, when you hit someone with the pitch accidentally, what usually goes through your mind? Do you feel bad about that?
I think initially you feel a little bit bad, and then you're worried about that you didn't execute your pitch. Depending on how well you know the guy, you might feel worse, but generally it's more your coach tuning you out than it is you hitting the guy. So,
I've really always wondered that, 'cause some of them are bad. Oh, I know you didn't mean to do that, but
You've never started anything bench clearing before, have you?
no, I'm a pretty competitive guy, but I try to stay away from the brawls. That's not my thing.
Never brush a guy back?
Yeah, I've brushed a few guys back.
I think all of sports are moving away from the brawls. Makes things a little more boring sometimes. Obie fouls it back, counts 1-2. Nobody gone as he leads off the inning in a 6-2 game that the Red Sox lead. Will Armbruster back on the mound, put up a scoreless piece in the sixth. Chopped foul towards the YD dugout. We haven't seen YD go to the shift quite as much, and I'm not sure if you've really witnessed the shift that Coach Pickler does, because there wasn't that much of it yesterday, but a lot of times he'll send all three guys to one side of the infield. Ball 2 flies in the outside box. So when you're pitching, you know a guy is 99% of the time going to the pull side. The shift is in play, and the guy beats the shift. I don't know. How do you think analytics has impacted the game? Like growing up, do you think it's gotten more and more a part of the game?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, nowadays you got so many guys working with, especially your college team and even the summer ball teams now that do these analytics things and do the scouting department. So you kind of just trust those guys and you take your odds and you hope that the next one hits into the shift. So I think really just trusting those guys and that they know what they're doing, like they trust you to go out there and throw strikes, is kind of important, that everybody trusts each other and get the next guy to hit into it.
For the most part, it's really worked out as ball 3 comes in and runs the count full on Devin Obie. We haven't seen a free pass from our Brewster yet.
Have you noticed any, I guess I should say, do you think it has helped you at all as a pitcher at these higher levels, having that analytics team behind you and being able to know guys' tendencies and I guess having more of a direct plan and almost a mathematical approach to taking on guys?
Yeah, certainly. We have some guys who don't like to look at video at all, some guys that look at probably too much. I'd say I'm somewhere in between. I like to have the video and kind of know the guy's tendencies so I can go in with a plan, but I also don't want to depend directly on it because I also like to go pitch by pitch or batter by batter. So I think you kind of find an even mix of guys, but like I said, those analytics departments are so good about doing this stuff and getting videos and numbers to you that they chop it down, and it's pretty simple for you to understand, so they dumb it down for me.
Devin Obie walks on a 10-pitch at-bat, fouled off 5, trying to stay alive, and eventually gets the best of Armbruster. Not for lack of trying. That brings up Cam Leary, puts it on the ground towards second. This could be 2. The flip and the turn is in time for the first 2 outs of the inning. The first base runner quickly retired, and the base paths cleared for Brian Arendt. 10-pitch at-bat to a 1-pitch at-bat. That's the way it goes.
And you get 2 outs out of it. Hey, not bad.
Well, Brian Arendt 0 for 2 today with a fly out and a drop third strike. That was a dangerous one for a second, but it was nicely picked by Gleed. At first, nice to see him back over there. He was talking about playing first. He's not usually a first baseman by training, and he's been thrown in there all season. I think that happens to a lot of guys in summer ball. They kind of play where they're not used to. Have you ever been put in as a position player?
Not since I've been in college, thankfully. That probably wouldn't go well. Wasn't terrible in high school, but haven't picked up an infield or outfield or first baseman's mitt in forever, so not sure how that would fare.
Do you trust your speed enough to pinch run in a game and run the bases?
100%, yes. Yes. Ran some cross country and track in high school, so I'll trust the running there.
Oh, yeah.
He's a cross-country guy himself.
I was.
I was absolutely not. I am so slow, it's not even funny. I really think I could run a mile on a good day. Counts 1 and 2 to Arendt. Swings away, strike 3. Picked up by Manny Garza, and that retires the side. Another one scoreless for Armbruster, and we head to the bottom half of the 7th. We'll be back after the stretch on the Cape League broadcast. yeah. Braden Montgomery leads off the bottom half of the 7th, facing Griffin Kern back out. First pitch on the way quickly in there for strike one as Montgomery swings away at the fastball at the top of the zone. I have to say, as a play-by-play person, because I have certainly gotten a lot better as this has gone around, Montgomery checks a swing but doesn't go around. I don't think I could have told the difference between pitches when this season began, and now we're 40 games in, and I feel like I've got it pretty good, but how long do you think it takes to figure out a pitcher's rotation when you're just watching them for a couple of innings?
I think the behind the plate view is a lot easier than it is from a dugout. The dugout is really tough for me to tell. I can't tell anything moving, anything that's cutting or tailing at all.
Montgomery hammers it out towards center. Lambros flying back to the wall and makes the grab over his shoulder. Athletic move from the center fielder. And Montgomery's retired. That one was making its way towards the fence.
Yeah, I think the behind the plate view, you're able to tell a little bit more with the depth perception of it, but if you're not directly on, it's going to be pretty hard to pick up. So
brings up Hunter Hines, home run hitter of the day. He's 2 for 3. And fouls it back right at our faces. Totally would have caught that one with the bare hand
definitely.
if the fence wasn't there.
That was coming right for my computer.
You know, I'm just proud of myself. I didn't blink, so that's a win for me. This one's popped up into the shallow infield now in foul territory. Keister coming over from third base. Makes the grab for out number 2. 2 gone quickly here in the bottom of the 7th, and it's Manny Garza stepping back up for his 4th timer up.
I was going to say, when sort of similar to watching from the dugout, I know on some teams when the pitchers are watching games, they're the guys that are looking for when guys are tipping, doing things like that, as this might end the inning.
Garza puts it on the ground to second, and Rivera swings it over in time. It's 1-2-3 for the Sox in the bottom half of the 7th. Head to the 8th. YD leads 6-2 at Red Wilson Field. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape. Top of the 8th at Red Wilson, just an hour and 47 minutes in. And Will Armbruster is back out there. Win Scott is still with us, joining us today, having too much fun up here in the press box. First pitch ripped out towards left field. Stafford heading back to the fence. It's over his head, bounces away off the pole. And Lee Croy rounds first safely into second standing up. A faster guy could have gone for 3 maybe, but it's a leadoff double for Harwich as they try to battle back into this one, down 4 in the 8th. Tough start.
And I don't know if you knew what was going on yesterday, Win, but there had been a very long streak going of YD pitchers making debuts who gave up home runs in their first inning that you broke. So
Barely.
No, Will broke it.
Will, actually, you're right. Will did break it. So that's 2 in a row. So we're starting a new streak where
It was close,
where
though.
guys do not give up home runs.
I thought there was one that was heading out of there, not going to lie.
I did too. My heart dropped.
The Grand Slam in the first outing. But
That's exactly how I started off last summer.
Braden
so I was
had
like,
your
yeah, it
back.
should be perfect. Yes. Made an awesome play, I think.
What's it like stranding the bases loaded in your first? I guess it's not your first inning this summer. You've played previous summer ball, but your first inning with a new team. I mean, that's as clutch as it gets, right?
Yes. Especially with the shutout going. Had to keep that
Had
up
to
for
keep
the
the
pitchers.
shutout going. It was probably as close as you could get yesterday a couple of times, but pitching staff came through.
Braden Montgomery, 3-0 count, bases loaded, strikes out the guy looking. That was ice cold. That preserved it as well. Left him stranded, loaded 2 times, I think.
Twice. In the final 4 innings yesterday, Bourne left 9 runners on. I mean, it wasn't a competitive game, so it didn't end up mattering, but it did matter for shutout purposes.
2-1 count to Andrew Yu, who's 0 for 2. A line out, strikeout, swinging. Bloops this one towards right field. That'll drop in front of Montgomery. LeCroy is rounding third, heading for home, and the cutoff comes in towards second as YD is content to let that one come across. Yu holds up on first, and the score is 6-3.
Yeah, it just took a bad hop on Montgomery there. He had it in a good spot. It was going to bloop in front of him, and he was probably going to hold that runner on third, but then it ricocheted straight to one side and got slightly by him, and Harwich was aware of it enough to give the sign to LeCroy to come home, and he scored easily. This game is not over. He's got to be careful.
Daniel Rivera with one on, nobody gone. Top of the 8th ball, one flies outside.
So continuing on from last inning before we were so rudely interrupted, we were talking about seeing pitches from the dugout and just wanted your take about guys tipping pitches, because I know in a lot of teams that's the responsibility of the pitchers to watch from the dugout, see if this guy you're trying to hit against is tipping, and try to give your guys that extra edge on the teams that you play for. How big of a part do you play in that? And, you know, what do you tend to notice about guys who are tipping?
Yeah, I tended to take it to a little bit of the extreme there. I would watch some film on some of our ACC weekend opponents. Just figure with 3 games out of the guys that you're going to end up getting some relievers that you see once or twice, and some starters you're going to get 5 or 6 innings out of. So a lot of the pitchers that stayed end up doing it, and even some of the coaches are able to even look at it and just kind of see some guys have some bigger tendencies than others. But yeah, just trying to get any advantage you can on that other team and get a leg up.
Coach coming to the mound to check on Armbruster in the 2-0 count. Looks like Landon Beidelshe's warming up in the pen.
Yeah, he just got up, it looks like. Just started throwing from the full mound.
And Coach Pick's not out of the dugout. Usually we only see him if the ball is going to be taken, so I imagine Armbruster is going to have a little bit of life left in him. Hopefully an umpire coming out to break this one up as it's gone on for a little bit too long. Gets the slap on the leg, and we'll head back to the plate. Garza still not done, getting dragged away. Hardy and Jackson chopping it up at second. I always love when there's runners on base and there's the mound innings, or the mound breaks. Everyone's just chatting and steps off, and looks like everybody's friends out here. Because at the end of the day, summer ball is not, doesn't matter as much as a lot of other things when the game is over. Count runs 3-0.
Yeah, we end up seeing a lot of these guys during the season, and end up playing those guys 5 or 6 times over the summer. So you end up running into so many guys, a handful of times all year, and getting to know them pretty well, actually. So it's pretty cool.
Rivera almost gets nailed on ball 4. Armbruster lost a little bit of control in that at-bat. It's a 4-pitch walk for Rivera. Runners on first and second. Tying run is at the plate, represented by Kevin Keister. The leadoff batter today out of Maryland, 0 for 2, and he's reached on a walk. you have any teammates out here playing for other teams?
I did at the beginning of the summer. I believe we had a few guys in Brewster, Falmouth. We had some guys all over. We had 2 or 3 at Kitei. So we had our fair share of guys up here for the summer, yeah.
Looks like we will see a pitching change as the second mound visit is happening. Beidelshees will come out in relief. The lefty all-star for YD has been absolutely shut down in the last innings. A really strikeout-heavy guy. Strong fastball, strong slider. And we'll see him in a moment. I feel like in this little break we should do something fun instead of asking all the baseball questions. So, Wynn, tell us a little bit about where you grew up, any fun activities, what's a fun fact, hidden talent, anything like that.
Yeah, so I grew up in a very small town called Jamestown, about 5,000 or 6,000 people now. Started out probably 2,000 or 3,000 when I was little. There's a very old cotton mill that stopped production in, I believe, 2008, and that's a huge hangout for guys. There's some natural waterfalls. There's a water tower there, just a ton of space to explore there. So that was kind of the cool hangout that everybody went to. Kind of just a cool place to explore in town.
And that's in North Carolina?
Yeah. It's in Jamestown, right outside of High Point in Greensboro. So very, very small town right there. But yeah, that was the cool little place everybody would go hang out.
Interesting.
Very nice.
I have it's kind of a baseball related question, but it's mostly a fun question that we ask to a lot of other people. We mostly ask it to people who do not play competitive baseball at all, which makes it a little more fun. But with you being a Division I pitcher and a Power 5 pitcher, so you come in the ninth of an MLB game, how many runs do you need to be up by to reliably close the game and win?
Oh. Coming with nobody on base in the ninth?
Come in, nobody on base, just a clean ninth. You come in to start the inning.
Against what team?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that
we'll
that
go.
sets it a little bit.
What if we split it into two and we say Oakland Athletics, and then we say LA Dodgers?
All right. Oh.
Wow.
It's so much
the
tougher than
A's are
people
just
think.
catching strays
like
from the
the
YD
A's.
broadcast.
I like
Man.
the A's.
Well, after last night, I'm going to have to give myself at least a 4 or 5 run lead to hold. Against the A's, we'll say 5. With the Dodgers, we'll go 8. I have confidence in myself, but those guys are just a different breed when it comes to hitting.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll give the A's 5 and the Dodgers 8.
Give the Dodgers 8. All right.
There's been some big comebacks this season. I know my Cubbies out in Chicago had their biggest ever franchise comeback against the White Sox. They were down 5 and came back to win. That was a big deal. 7-game win streak, in case anyone was wondering. Cubs are above 500. No big deal. Freaking out about it. Don't sell at the deadline. I want Cody Bellinger to stay. Now I'm done. As Landon Beidelshees is ready to throw his first pitch.
Who's your MLB team then, coming from North Carolina?
Being named for Dave Winfield, I'm a Yankees guy.
Yankees.
Big Yankees.
Oof.
Huge Mariano fan. Dave Winfield.
Oh, no.
Little Andy Pettit. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Tough coming to the Red Sox, but
0-1 crushed out towards center field. Austin going back to the wall, and it is out of here, and this game is tied. Kevin Keister smashes it to center field for a 3-run shot, and all of a sudden Harwich has come in to the 8th inning with guns blazing, and it's 6-6.
Got to stay clean now. That's a tough way to start things for Landon Beidelshees, but it's a new game, and he's going to have to stick it out for now.
That was some Big Ten on Big Ten violence right there from
It was.
the Maryland and Ohio State guys at the plate. Brings up Ali Camarillo, 2 for 3, double, a single, and a flyout. First pitch from Beidelshees, runs inside, ball 1.
So now, Wynn, take us into this game a little bit. Your Beidelshees, you give up that shot, but you got a game to pitch in, and you got a tie game now. How do you bounce back from this mentally?
yeah, huge to just refocus, regain your composure, and kind of go back out there and do it one pitch at a time. You're not going to strike a guy out on one pitch, so just trying to go a pitch at a time and be productive with what you have to throw. But definitely frustrating. Understand the feeling.
Gleed
But-
running over in foul territory, but there won't be a play on it as it drops behind the bleachers for strike one.
Just one of those things that happens, and that's baseball at the end of the day for you. So yeah, just taking a deep breath, regaining your composure, and going back at it one pitch at a time is huge.
The one upside is the bases are now clear,
Yep.
so nobody scoring position. Almost a fresh start of sorts. Those won't go against Beidelschi's record, only the one from Keister. This one flown out towards center. Looks like Austin has a play on it. Called off by Montgomery coming over from right. And that's out number one. The whole situation with the YD infield and outfield has been really interesting all season. There's only been 3 to 4 listed outfielders at a time, and half the time they're playing in the infield, and the infield is playing in the outfield. It's a team that makes a lot of defensive subs every day, a lot of pinch hitters. I think Coach Pickler just recruits guys that can play anywhere at any time. It's our second Maryland Terrapin of this inning steps up, Elijah Lambros, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI double and 2 strikeouts. Nice pitch from Beidelschi, paints that outside corner, and a frame from Garza. Gets a called strike 2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's what we're used to seeing from Landon Beidelschi. On the breaking ball, Lambros goes on top, and there's 2 gone. Beidelschi has retired 2 in a row now since giving up the home run to Keister, trying to stop things and keep it tied up as we head to the bottom half of the 8th. The first pitch strike comes into Obi out of Duke. YD faced Harwich on opening day. Crushed out towards center field. This one might be out of here as well. And it is. Devin Obi on the solo shot. Puts Harwich in the league. I don't think we've seen Landon give up the long ball yet this season. 2 in this inning. All of a sudden the Mariners lead after coming in down 4 runs. They put up a 5 spot in the 8th. Devin Obi, Kevin Keister playing the hero right now, and YD just trying to limit the damage.
Yeah, being as strikeout heavy as he has been, we haven't really seen anybody touch Landon Beidelschi's this year, let alone 2 long balls, both the center.
Gets the swing and the miss on the first pitch here from Cam Leary. 0 for 3, couple of ground outs and a fly out. Sun continues to set here. Our start time has moved up to 4:30 every day thanks to sundown moving up as well. The 0-2 comes in, popped up towards center field. Shallow sprinting in. Austin has the play, makes the grab, and that's out number 3. But Harwich puts up 5, and they lead 7-6 heading to the bottom half of the 8th. We'll be back on the Cape League
Enjoy the game.
Back for the bottom of the 8th, and all of a sudden this one is a close one, as Xander Darby is up to the plate leading off for the Red Sox. Look at the movement on that pitch coming in. Darby's down 0-2. Still Griffin Kern out there. This one flies just off the corner for ball 1. A nice take from Darby as the Clouds come over. That was a lot of fun with Win Scott on the broadcast. Finally sent him back to the bullpen, but hoping to have a little more of that at the end of the season. Trying to make things fun over here. Ball 2 flies away in the outside box. Mariners came storming back quite unexpectedly after a game that looked like YD had it well in hand. The 2-2 ripped out towards right field, going back to the fence at the wall. The leaping grab from Devin Obie. And Darby is robbed. I don't think it was going to make it out of here, but maybe would have gone off the fence. But what a play out there in right field from the guy who just put his team ahead on the solo shot.
Getting it done, man. I thought Xander Darby just tied it back up with that swing, but came up just short, and time just like that is starting to run out for the Red Sox.
Strike 1 comes in on the outside half to Doug Gleed. Griffin Kern has really settled in nicely. YD has not scored since the 4th. Gleed rolls it on the ground towards short. Camarillo up with it quickly, won't waste any time as he gets out number 2 on the 6-3 putout, while YD is down to their final 4 outs. As Ryan Jackson comes up. 1 home run on the season for Jackson. He got that at Orleans last week. Other than that, no hits of the extra base variety. Kern set and deals ball 1 below the knees. Lefty on righty. Looked inside on the batter, but a called strike 1 moves the count to 1-1. Jackson puts it up the middle. Looks like Lambros has a play and barely has to move. Another 1-2-3 inning for Griffin Kern. He's been absolutely dealing. Has kept his team in this game. We've reached the top of the 9th, and this game has been flipped on its head as Harwich stormed back in the 8th, put up 5 to take the lead. They lead 7-6, and Tedeschi is back out to face the middle part of the order. Tedeschi gave up 2 home runs coming in relief of Will Armbruster in the 8th. Gets the swing and the miss here from Arndt for strike 2. A guy who has been so strikeout heavy, so weak contact. Barely seen anything like that from him. Couple of unlucky pitches, and all of a sudden on those long balls, Harwich has taken the lead, fouled off by Arndt. This score has been the result of 2 big innings for each team. YD had 4 in the 4th, as it's flared foul and out of play once again. Harwich put up 5 in the 8th. Other than that, 1 apiece in the 2nd and the 3rd for the Red Sox, 2 in the 4th for the Mariners. Other than that, zeros across the board. Both teams have done well. And it's 2-2 now to Orange. Tedeschi fires, swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the sinker. And the first batter of the inning is retired. Harwich trying to add some insurance runs on to a 1-run lead. And Tedeschi is just trying to make quick work of this and give his team a chance to come up big with their 4th walk-off of the season. First pitch just bumped foul by Talmadge Alikroy, who started off the rally in the last one with a leadoff double in the top half of the 8th. Ball 1 drops in low. Came all the way around it and pulled it foul for strike 2. Ball 2 just misses on the outside corner. That one looked really close coming across the plane. But the take goes Lekroy's way. The 2-2 chopped foul up that third baseline again. Talmadge Lekroy, a native of Belton, South Carolina, plays in his home state at the University of South Carolina. Had 10 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs with 42 RBIs this season for the Gamecocks. 2-2 runs in on the hand, and the count is full. Ball 4 drops in low, and Harwich has a base runner in the 9th with 1 gone.
That's a tough way for that at-bat to end for Landon Tedeschi. Nearly had Lekroy earlier on in that at-bat and just got away from him a bit there late. You can get out of the inning, though, if you can draw a ground ball. You have to keep this lead at 1 if you're Landon Tedeschi.
Fresh count for Andrew Yu, who singled his last time around, just a bloop shot to right field. Drops in the dirt. Garza has the jump on it. The runner decided to go and is gunned down by a mile. Garza looked shocked he even tried to go for it. Lekroy probably thought that got further away than it did.
It's the second time we have seen a ball in the dirt that a runner has elected to go on.
My bad, that was Ryan Stafford. I forgot he came in as a defensive sub, and all of a sudden, 2 gone for the Mariners, and that base runner is erased. Down 1-2 now. 1 strike left for the Mariners in the 9th. Pitch on the way, flies above the head. Two and two. 2 gone, pitch on the way. Check swing, foul ball. And the count will stay at 2-2. Ball 3 flies away, and it's another full count for Tedeschi, who could end it here with 1 pitch or put you aboard. shakes one off, now nods, kicks, and fires. Cracked foul into the bleachers. Bounced a couple of times and faces the minimum in the ninth. YD down by 1, a chance to walk it off. They'll go 9-1-2 with Theo Hardy leading off when we come back on the Cape. Brady Day pinch hitting to start things off in the ninth. He's come up big for the Red Sox in the past. He was the only hit in their game at Hartford. Had another one yesterday. He's on a little streak of his own coming in, facing Griffin Kern, who has been excellent. He has faced the minimum for almost the entire time he's been out there. Went 1, 2, 3 the last 3 innings in a row as the Red Sox have hung up zeros since the fourth. It's a 7-6 ball game. Brady Day takes strike 1. It's a ball and a strike. To the lefty out of Kansas State, was drafted by the Atlanta Braves in the 12th round. Declined to sign, going back to Kansas State to play for the Wildcats for another season. The 1-1, a late swing and miss on the arcing curve, and Day is down 1-2. 7 hits aside, 1 error for the Mariners brings us to where we are today. Kern fires, pushed foul off the end of the bat. We'll stay at 1-2. YD has walked it off 3 times this season already, looking for their 4th. And looking to break open that lead in the East. They're 5 points up on Orleans. Day moves the shoulders a little bit, but holds off on ball 2 in the opposite box. Things are tense here at Red Wilson, as it looked like YD had this one well in hand, up 6-2, and all of a sudden Harwich stormed back and put up 5 in the 8th. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed at the top of the zone. Day, I think, might have yanked his thumb, shaking his hand off, but strikes out. And YD is down to their final 2 outs. It's Ryan Stafford and the top of the YD order. They've been hot today. Stafford, Austin, Montgomery, Hines. That's who you want up in this situation if you can get through all of them, put a couple of runners aboard. But Griffin Kern has been so shut down. That is not an easy task. First pitch out to Stafford flies away for ball 1.
Stafford's been good at getting on base, which is what you want in this situation. Whether it's a hit or a free pass, you'll take anything at this point, down 1.
The 1-0 runs inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Kern fires ball 3 in the dirt, making things interested. I am absolutely assuming the red light is on here. For Ryan Stafford on a 3-0 count, 1-run game, bottom of the 9th, 1 out. The catcher out of Cal Poly was with the Red Sox at the beginning of the season, left to play for the collegiate national team. And a nice frame from Andrew Yu brings strike 1 up in the bottom of the zone. It's 3-1 to Stafford. He'll be forced to swing away here with Austin on deck. Set in the righty box, Kern fires, runs inside, ball 4. Ryan Stafford is aboard, and the go-ahead run is at the plate.
If you could pick anybody in the lineup to keep a rally going, it's R.J. Austin.
Austin is one of the best contact hitters, and we'll see a meeting on the mound. Looks like Kern's day might be over as Harwich is going to bring in a new guy to close this one out. Ball hasn't been taken yet, so we'll keep chatting. But Griffin Kern, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. No runs allowed. 15 batters faced, and that will be his day, so we'll step aside for a moment. Stafford on first, 1 out. YD trying to come back and win this one at home. We'll be back on the Cape League. Top of the 9th. The sun has fallen behind some clouds as R.J. Austin is at the plate facing Dax Daith, who has faced a YD batter once. Did not allow a hit. He came in to close out an inning the last time these two teams played. First pitch to Austin. Runner bluffs at first. Stafford diving back just in time. Yu was quick with it. Stafford knew he was going to be gunned down in a second. Got a really late jump. YD is lucky on that one as ball 1 comes into Austin. He wants time to reset himself. And he's there. Stafford retakes the lead. The sun is back out. The 1-0 away. Ball 2. Dax Daith, probably one of the best names in the league. I love an alliteration moment. Right-hander out of Angelo State. The 2-0 called strike 1 on the outside half of the plate. He's transferring to Angelo State for his final year of eligibility next string. They're the D2 national champions. The 2-1 to Austin bounces, but up the first baseline. U keeps it in front as ball 3 comes in the dirt. 3-1 to Austin. If he walks here, Montgomery would have 2 aboard. 1 to tie the game, 1 to win it. Pitch on the way, high and away, ball 4. Harwich walks 2 in a row for YD after getting the first one out. And it's Braden Montgomery, one of the hottest bats on the team in the league probably, stepping up in the lefty box this time to face the righty pitcher. Montgomery has reached on an error, but he's 0 for 3 otherwise, and he is due. If anybody else is, first pitch swung on slightly late and just bounced foul at the last second. Clipped his foot as the count's at 0-1.
So Harwich is bringing Devin Obie in right field in a little bit. That's the pull side for Braden Montgomery. Interested to see how they would play this, because on one hand, you would like to bring your outfield a little shallower so that if Montgomery knocks a base hit out there, you can maybe prevent the run from scoring at second. But also, you don't want a ball to get over your head, because if you do, that probably ends the game. So now everybody's going to creep in a little bit in the outfield here for Harwich. They've still got enough space probably to get to the wall if needed.
It's a dangerous game to play, and Montgomery rips it out towards the outfield. And Obie has it in the air. Hard contact off the bat, but on a line to the right fielder, and Montgomery never had a chance to touch the outfield grass. 2 gone, 2 aboard, and it all rests on the shoulders of Hunter Hines.
This is a planning visit right here. The bullpen is empty. Dax Daith is going to finish out this game for Harwich one way or the other, but with the power bat at the plate, that can end things. This is an important mound visit to just come out, and you're going to go through the plan here to get Hunter Hines out.
So Enzo Apodaca is on deck. He came in Manny Garza's spot. Apodaca was the only Red Sox to not have a hit yesterday in the 14-0 win. Still got on base, came around to score. He batted one in on a sac fly, but with 2 gone, they might walk Hunter Hines here, or at least pitch very much around the zone and try to get the chase.
Yeah, I think they're certainly not going to want to leave anything over the plate against Hines, who has shown in this game that he's going to be aggressive if he gets a pitch over the plate. He's not going to wait around.
A single and a home run for the heavy hitter out of Mississippi State, and he's set in the lefty box. First pitch on the way. Pushed foul off the tip of the bat that was coming on the outside half. Hines reached for it, down 0-1. Daith checks on the lead runner, now deals, and it's bumped foul over our heads. YD down to their last strike as Hines is attacking.
And this is the absolutely ideal position to be in against him. Don't be surprised here if you see something buried down in the zone if you're Daith.
Pitch on the way. It is buried down in the zone. The check swing, however, from Hines. Dangerous, came close, but did not break the plane. We've seen Hines go down on checked swings like that creep across the plane. That would be a heartbreaking way for this one to end, but it's 1-2 to Hunter out of Mississippi State. Pitch on the way, flies in at the shoulders. Ball 2.
That almost got him.
2-2, 2 out. Bottom of the 9th, YD down 1. Called strike 3 to end the game. It ran in on Hines, but just clipped that inside corner, and Harwich sneaks away with it 7-6. A loss that YD will take in the East Division. It's tough to take it at home. It's tough to take it off a pair of long balls in a game you were winning the whole time. But at the end of the day, the YD bats were stagnant in the last 5 innings of this game. Luke, the team that started off looked like the team we saw yesterday. The team that finished the game looks like the team, at least from the plate, that we saw last Wednesday. And it comes down to it. YD loses this one by 1 run. It's the first close game they've really played in a long time. But it's that tale of 2 teams that continues here.
Yeah, and you can't fall asleep at the plate, right? You know, this team had nothing going for them offensively while Griffin Kern was in the game. He faced 15 batters. He walked the first and last that he faced, and he retired all 13 in between. And, you know, it didn't seem like a big deal at the time. And then Harwich put up 5 runs in the 8th, and all of a sudden YD realized they're down in the game, down to their final 6 outs. You try to put together a late rally, but you had control of this game, but it shows you what happens in this league when you take your foot off the gas pedal. Sometimes things happen. Landon Beidelshees is going to pick up the losing decision in this game, but I think probably the part that's going to go unnoticed is that YD really didn't get the run support when they needed it. Yes, they put up 6 runs, but they just stopped producing past the halfway mark of this game, and that was really the difference as we made our way to the late innings once Harwich took that lead.
YD will be on the road tomorrow at Brewster, an early 4 o'clock start time, the earliest game in the league, and we will, of course, be on the call as the Red Sox winning streak is snapped. Winning streak of 1 game. It was just 1. I don't know why I said that. But the Red Sox, unfortunately, lose this one 7-6. Thanks for watching on the Cape League Broadcast Network.